This film is a film called Three Now Defunct Locations, which simultaneously existed in medieval Britain and also the Republic of China, which is to say Taiwan, which is different from the People's Republic of China, which is what we usually think of when we hear the word, open quotes, China, close quotes. It is the new release from a new film company which is called and whose offices are located in the middle of a desert that does not exist. To me, that is to say the narrator of this film, I can think of no worse scenario than to be trapped in a completely flat desert. Nothing but ground, sky and horizon all around. I shiver at the very thought. I would like to announce a change to the film's title. From now on, this film shall be known as Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. Please make sure you write that down so you can remember it later. If you do not have a pen, then please use saliva. If you do not have paper, use the skin on the back of your hand. The purpose of this film is to educate the people of the world on the subject of Taiwan Mercia, Taiwan Wessex, and Taiwan Northumbria. The subject of these three now defunct locations, which simultaneously existed in medieval Britain and also the Republic of China, which is to say Taiwan, which is different from the People's Republic of China, which is what we usually think of when we hear the word China, is an important one, and one that is often overlooked by everyone, both dead, alive, maybe to exist, and never to exist. The style of this film is very much inspired by lettrist and situationist cinema, which sometimes feel to me, that is the narrator of this film, to be the only forms of cinema worth bothering with, apart from cheaply made 1950s American children's cartoons. Transformers 2, Jack and Jill, and also Inception would have all been massively improved if all those films were just a big circle projected on a weather balloon, or perhaps cheaply made 1950s American children's cartoons about a housewife with intelligent tits that solve crimes. If this film is being projected either in a cinema or in the home via a modern video projector, I would like it very much if you projected it on a screen that is too far away from the projector for it to be actually seen. About a mile away should be good enough. Also, I recommend that for very special screenings, such as during Christmas or some kind of other holiday, the speakers should be plugged into a lump of plasticine rather than the video source. In fact, I would venture that the idea of Tipp-Ex came about due to people wanting to get rid of mistakes when using typewriters. I would like to announce a change to the film's title. From now on, this film shall be known as Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace. Please make sure you write that down so you can remember it later. If you do not have a pen, then please use blood. If you do not have paper, chisel a brick out of the nearest wall and use that. I realise I have not been exploring the subject of this film, which is on three now defunct locations which simultaneously existed in medieval Britain, and also the Republic of China, which is to say Taiwan, which is different from the People's Republic of China, which is what we usually think of when we hear the word China, and for that I apologise. I appear to have lost my script, but once it is found, then we will begin exploring this fascinating subject. You may also like to project this film onto a piece of black cloth, a naked breast, a piece of unidentifiable meat, or a copy of the Beano. In fact, I would venture that I was stationed in Japan after the war, and the place was just overrun by horses. Every building had at least 3 horses wandering around in them. We had to organise a way to gather the horses together and get rid of them, because Japan wasn't going to get back on its feet until the horses were gone. So we bought lots of steamrollers and lots of prostitutes. Now, horses are terrified of prostitutes, and we would send one in, the horses would freak out and jump out the nearest window, where we'd run them over with the steamrollers. It took us about a week to do that. We were awarded with the US Army's highest honour, which was a Bugs Bunny badge, and that's how Tipp-Ex was invented. This film also has a range of merchandise. From exactly 3 seconds from now, you will be able to buy a range of t-shirts, pencil cases, Bugs Bunny badges, posters, action figures and toilet rolls with the words Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace written on them. Yes, mother, no, mother. Yes. 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 Oh, absolutely, it happens all the time. Jesus tells us this. I love foodstuffs that are heavily sugared and salted. We all live in a yellow submarine. Jesus taught us how to live, how to love, how to manufacture printers and photocopiers. A novelization of this film will also be available 4 seconds from now. And now, a musical interlude. I've just received a text message from my wife saying that she'll try to find the script on the subject of this film once she's finished the washing up. In the meantime, I would like to announce a change to the film's title. From now on, this film shall be known as Weekend at Bernie's 2. From exactly 3 seconds from now, you will be able to buy a range of t-shirts, pencil cases, Bugs Bunny badges, posters, action figures, and suppositories with the words Weekend at Bernie's 2 written on them. Also, I would like to announce a change to the film's title. From now on, this film shall be known as Jack and Jill. Please make sure you write that down so you can remember it later. If you do not have a pen, then please use excrement. If you do not have paper, grab someone's face and use that. I've just received a text message from my wife saying that I don't have a wife, and so that I'll have to do the washing up on my own, and that she can't help me with finding the script as she doesn't exist. Nevertheless, I fully expect that shortly we will be able to explore the fascinating subject of, whatever it was. I was stationed in Japan after the war, and the place was just overrun by prostitutes. Every building had at least 3 prostitutes wandering around in them. We had to organize a way to gather the prostitutes together and get rid of them because Japan wasn't going to get back on its feet until the prostitutes were gone. So we bought lots of steamrollers and prostitutes. Now prostitutes are terrified of prostitutes, and we would send some prostitutes in, and the prostitutes would freak out and jump out the nearest window, where we'd run them over with the prostitutes. It took us about a week to prostitute that. We were awarded the US prostitutes' highest honor, which was a Bugs Bunny prostitute. And that's how prostitutes were invented. A Jack and Jill novelization will also be available 4 seconds from now. The style of this film is very much inspired by Bugs Bunny badges and Tipex cinema, which sometimes feel to me, that is the narrator of this film, hello, to be the only forms of cinema worth bothering with, apart from cheaply made 1980s American children's cartoons. Citizen Kane, The Seven Samurai, and also 8.5 would have been all massively improved if all of those films were just a big piece of paper hung on a wall in a sunny room, or perhaps cheaply made 1980s American children's cartoons about totally outrageous female rock stars with intelligent tits that sell items of Jack and Jill merchandise. And now, another musical interlude. I would like to announce a change to the film's title. From now on, this film shall be known as 3 now-defunct locations, which simultaneously existed in medieval Britain and also the Republic of China, which is to say Taiwan, which is different from the People's Republic of China, which is what we usually think of when we hear the word open quotes China, close quotes. Please make sure you write that down so you can remember it later. If you do not have a pen, then please use a pen. If you do not have paper, then I just don't know. You may also like to project this film on a white screen, or a big white cloth, or a wall painted white. Well, I've just received another text message from my wife reminding me that she still doesn't exist, and also that I never actually wrote the script for this film in the first place, and also that I use paper plates. So I am afraid we will have to abandon this film. I sincerely apologize on behalf of, and I will spend a full week in a totally flat desert as punishment. Thank you for watching.